Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to join today's forum. This is Kenny, Director of Foreign Company in Taiwan, and I'm also the Tai Ji Men dizi. Our theme for today's forum is something you can do. President Tsai can help. We have invited through talents in Taiwan to share their observations and recommendations on the Taiwan's tax and legal systems by using the Tai Ji Men fast case. Before we invite them to share, let me invite you to watch a video from the World People News that reported the Tai Ji Men's fight against 24-year defamation and from the human rights. So let's watch the video.
Members of the Action Alliance to Redress December 19 and Tai Ji Men Qigong Academy have been protesting in front of the Administrative Enforcement Agency for more than 20 days. They asked for the agency to stop an illegal auctioning of Tai Ji Men's property. However, even now, they haven't had a chance to communicate face-to-face with the officials inside. With such a severe violation of property rights, volunteers from all over Taiwan make petitions to the city mayors and county magistrates. In fact, in July 2007, Tai Ji Men has been confirmed not guilty with no violation of tax code by the Supreme Court. What's more, the Taipei High Administrative Court sent a letter to the tax authority in May and July this year to request them to correct the tax amount to zero, but the enforcement agency insists on illegal auctioning. Thus, the intent of the agency is questionable.
你看自己官方公布的案子，每年有1100多万件的被强制执行的案子，台湾是什么国家啊？怎么会变成这个样子？为了绩效，为了奖金，可以不守法，法律说了不算。那我们人民怎么办？我们到底要听谁的？是不是所以我们只要大家有权利就可以去偷、去抢，然后说法院判的不算吗？这样国家不就大乱了吗？
The Tai Ji Men disciples sued numerous officials of the Tax Authority and Administrative Enforcement Agency for violating Article 129 of the Criminal Law.
太极门并没有欠国家任何一毛钱，反而是中区国税局欠太极门300多万，但是他们现在1毛钱都没有还，反而来查封太极门的资产。
The protesters said that they cannot stand the sufferings and slanders anymore. It's urgent for the government to be responsible and make justice served.
So thanks for watching the video. So from the video, you can see lots of people, including the young generations, were standing in front of the main gates of Administrative Enforcement Agency to fight for justice and taxpayers' human rights. Now let me invite one of the volunteers, Evans Lee, who is the IT engineer, who was also there to support the demonstration. So let's welcome Evans to share his thoughts.
My name is Evans Lee. I'm an engineer of Taiwan IT company. When I was a baby, I've become deeds of Tai Ji Men from childhood to adult. I grew up under the care of my shifu and the senior brothers and sisters. I learned that Tai Ji Men is a wonderful place where I self-cultivated with conscience. I'm now an engineer who always follows the direction of my shifu and is responsible to my work. My shifu, Dr. Hong, founded the Full Power Federation of World Peace and Love in the United States in September 2000. He led many volunteers to visit more than 100 countries around the world, do thousands of cultural exchanges, summits, and winning of the World Law and Peace Bell. He promoted the concept of law and peace to important world leaders. Hoping to promote the world law and peace, my shifu is a great practitioner who is worthy of respect by the people around the world. However, December 19, 1996, prosecutor Ho Kwan-ren led numerous of prosecutors and the media heavily on and searched Tai Ji Men academies and prosecuted my shifu, Dr. Hong, with fraudulent accounts. Until July 13, 2007, after 3 judicial trials, the court concluded that Tai Ji Men is in nonsense and under no obligation to pay income tax for monetary gifts to Dr. Hong. However, so far, their original tax sanctions have not been revoked. However, the Hsinchu branch of the Administrative Enforcement Agency of the Ministry of Justice announced the auction of the Tai Ji Men land on June 30, 2020. The Administrative Enforcement Agency of the Ministry of Justice and the IRS indeed knew that Tai Ji Men's 1992 tax bill was illegal and fake. However, they conducted together illegally to auction Tai Ji Men's land. Even more exaggeratedly, they were aware the whole execution procedure is illegal and already caused the crime of illegal expropriation. They still ignore the truth and directly nationalize the Tai Ji Men's land after the second forcible auction was failed. For 25 years, the Tai Ji Men's unjust wrongful case is indeed the February 28 incident in the history of Taiwan's law and taxation. The government advocates transitional justice, treating people's affairs as their own will, not to allow the IRS and the Administrative Enforcement Agency over and over again to frame the refugee people's organizations. Through reflections and learning from International Religious Freedom Summit on September 2021, it is obvious that illegal tax bills cannot be used to prosecute, discriminate, or even harass religious and spiritual groups, who are the people and the citizens that the government official should serve and protect. I appeal the reform of the government to stand on the base of practice of justice and the justice for the people, and to return the people the dignity of the legal tax and taxpayers' human right. So that is the government for the people of Taiwan. I look forward to those in power who have the courage to correct the historical mistake, redress the case of Tai Ji Men and all taxing victims, cancel the unreasonable taxing performance bonus. I even look forward to the tax reform so that people will no longer be billed by the tax authority. We are not trying to against our government. On contrary, we are fighting and shouting out revoke Tai Ji Men's lonely tax case, so that Taiwanese government can drive toward to a country with inherently transitional justice on taxpayers' human rights. We sincerely hope that Taiwan can further transform to become a wonderful country with true freedom, democracy, and human rights. We have written a lot of letters to supervisory office, the executive and the presidential place. We hope that the chief of government can hear the voice of people and reply to us. We hope to treat fairly and justly. Thank you.
Thanks, Evans, for sharing. So you can see how much Evans have learned from Tai Ji Men and Dr. Hong Daozi. When he was a child, to build up his self-confidence and courage to face his challenges in life. However, the Tax Bureau and Administrative Enforcement Agency continue to illegally auction Tai Ji Men for 25 years by ignoring the 3 judicial trials, have concluded that Tai Ji Men is innocent and without any tax obligations for the monetary gifts. It's really ridiculous to Taiwan, the country where there is always being proud of the real freedom, human rights, and democracy. With that now, let's invite our second speaker, Sandy Ye, the psychological counselor at the local university, to share her concerns and recommendations. So So let's welcome Sandy.
Hello everyone, my name is Sandy. I'm a psychological counselor at local university. Although the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020, Taiwan is not as severe as other countries, and the economy seems to continue to grow, we deeply feel that the salary growth rate is far below inflation rate. When I graduated, I was engaged in social work-related job, and I had to apply for government subsidy every year. When I was implementing the budget, sometimes I really feel that the government system was not flexible. You cannot get the same budget next year if you were not able to spend all the budget in this year. The budget planning and forecast is unreasonable at all. I once went to Australia to work for 1 year, and my monthly salary was as high as 100,000 Taiwan dollars. But compared to the local employees, my salary was still low. Although I was able to get high salary, I still miss Taiwan. When I returned to Taiwan, my salary was only 1/3 of Australia's. I really wondered why local Taiwanese workers did not deserve better salaries. Because of contact with the tax and legal reforming, I learned that foreign companies are unwilling to invest in Taiwan. The biggest concern of this is government's tax system. Tax lawyer Wang once said, investment rates in Taiwan are almost infinite because the tax system is not transparent. So when the foreign companies are keen to support investment risk assessments, he hardly supports them. We all know the foreign companies are offered work with good salary and benefits, but now the foreign capital investment is not coming. Industries are locating outside of Taiwan. Salaries are not increased, and the relations are getting higher and higher. How people want to live and work in peace here in Taiwan? What made me sad is that many people have no more to appear when they face the full tax case. They really feel that it's a mission to correct Taiwan's legal and tax system. Even though I still feel angry, but at the same time, I still feel that I have more energy to change it. The task is to take good care of people in the country, not to make the people suffer. Thank you.
Thanks for Sandy's sharing. You can tell Sandy's concern from Taiwan's young generations as we benchmark other developed countries where there are more transparent legal and tax systems. The tax and legal reform is really the key to Taiwan's success in many aspects, including economy and industrial growth, as well as young people's career opportunity, developments, and future. We hope President Tsai can listen to us and help accelerate legal and tax reform in Taiwan. Now, let's invite our third keynote speaker, Tina Hong, the administrative assistant of the local trading company, to share her observations and recommendations. So now let's welcome Tina.
I am an administrator. During the past few months, I saw many people gathered around the streets everywhere in the cities. I'm so curious about what are they doing. After conversation, I was impressed. I remembered last summer when I was on my way to the President Palace. The time they protested that August 21st, 2020 was the most shameful and darkest day of Taiwan's democracy. Their property was auctioned off illegally. They wanted their property back. They said that Taiwan's democracy and the rule of law are false, and the transformational justice is only a slogan. In order to ask the government to take the courage to revoke the illegal tax bills and stop bullying human rights. As I know, they have been on the streets fighting to the Tax Bureau for many years already. I was surprised when I heard in the media that many experts and scholars came from all over the world who spoke for Tai Ji Men, so I started to search for Tai Ji Men case. On December 1906, Tai Ji Men became the victim of the wrongful case by the government to crack down on religious groups. Prosecutor Hou Kuan-ren, based on false reports, illegally broke in to search the Tai Ji Men academies and also searched the residence of dizi. Hou Kuan-ren accused Tai Ji Men fraud and tax evasion. He falsely accused Tai Ji Men having the fraudulent incomes and requested the court to confiscate the incomes. On the other hand, he falsely accused the monetary gift from dizi to shifu as the fee of tuition, which was transferred to the IRS for illegal taxation. The investigation opinion by the Control Yan attached detailing 8 major violations of prosecutor Hou Kuan-ren and determined that the indictment and evidence were not conforming to the law of evidence. Prosecutor Hou Kuan-ren should be transferred to the Ministry of Justice for a strict investigation after 10 years and 3 months of trial by the court, which adjudicated that Tai Ji Men was not guilty and tax-free in 2007. According to the evidence, Tai Ji Men was found not guilty and tax-free. Their property shouldn't be auctioned off. Tai Ji Men stands for Federation of World Peace and Love. They traveled over the world, visiting to more than 100 countries in the past 20 years to promote the beautiful culture of Taiwan without taking any subsidy from the government. Is it reasonable that Taiwan's government tried to eliminate such a wonderful group? I really don't understand. Recently, I heard one speech of professional canons in the Forum of World Freedom of Religious Belief conference held in Washington, U.S. In his speech, he said that, unable to tolerate injustice and ignorance of human rights in the world, he said, it's unacceptable, and when a government knows that something unjust is happening, still allows it to continue to be unjust. He found that Taiwan's separation of powers is actually superior to the Western democratic system. However, he also thinks it is unbelievable and unacceptable to find right things, but does not have the courage to say the right words. It really encouraged me to do everything with my own conscience. I also understand what democracy is. The essence of value and democracy is that everyone's human right should be protected, and the value of democracy is to respect everyone's human rights and freedom. I will make myself braver and more oriented in the future. I love my country. I hope Taiwan can really become a place full of peace and love. I hope President Cheng can stand up for people. Thank you.
Thanks for Tina's sharing. Tina did observe that Tai Ji Men is such a wonderful spiritual group to promote love and peace through cultural exchanges and performances around the world. Tai Ji Men should not be discriminated and harassed by the false tax case for more than 25 years and should be revoked immediately. President Tsai, the President of Taiwan, should stand up and support the tax and legal reform for Taiwan in order for Taiwan to become a wonderful country with inherent freedom, democracy, and human rights. Thank you all for your active participations. I wish you have a good day. Goodbye, and see you soon.
Right from wrong. Conscience is our guide to a peaceful world. Happiness, the most important thing. Like the bell of peace, make your voices ring. Spread your happiness.
Come on!
Bring your friends along. We can get through